Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansborough. It is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. We got my good brother and friend on tonight, Desmond Guy. How you doing tonight, Desmond?
Peace, love, Brack, man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm still feeling good from the open mic that you did on Monday, man. I really am. That was a
I like the way you did that. I like the way you did that. Well, first of all, and I've said it to you when we was offline, but I'm gonna say it again. Thank you for coming, man. So we did so that was the second show, but you know that.
Right.
I'm trying to work to the point, like I said, I want it to be real intimate. Not as intimate as it was, but no, as intimate as it was, but I like to have a few more souls in there. And I think since I'm doing it twice a month, I'm working to the point where maybe I can get it like a featured artist in there or something.
Yeah. It's a good vibe, man, and the intimacy of it is one thing that I love too. You know, I mean, the location is good, the building is great. I mean, I really like it's just a good vibe when you're in there.
I appreciate that, bro, because like allow me to apologize to you because I didn't know until last minute that it was going to be upstairs like it was. So my goal is to always have it where we had it before. But she told me that day of. And initially I was going to say, let's just wait until next one. But I figured, fuck it, let's give it a shot.
Right.
So and it worked out the way that as we say, it worked out the way it's supposed to work out. So.
Right. So before we get started in our convo and poetry, man, tell the people a little bit about yourself. You know what I mean? What you do, who you are, things like that.
Okay, so my name is Desmond Guy. I do a few things. I like to consider myself, as you speaking, I like to consider myself a liberator, right? I mean by that is I left my job back in July. It just wasn't making me feel in a sense, right? I don't think a lot of jobs do. But I had to ask myself, was it the money? No, I asked myself if I was to do that job for free, would I do it? And the answer was no. So all I was there was for money. And I said, well, you can make money. Might not be the same money, might be more, might be a little more, might be a little less, but you can make money. You're like, well, really, why you here? So I left my job. And then once I left my job, and my wife was really supportive of that. Once I left my job, I kind of just been trying to reimagine, not trying to reimagine in life, but what that looks like. I'm an author of 2.5 books. My first book was a poetry book. It's called Becoming a Poet, 1830 to Becoming of a Poet. And I wrote that back in like 2012, I think. And then my second book is Contrary to Popular Belief, Debunking the Societal Myths About Men. And I co-author a book called Dear Black Women, my wife. That's about creating safe spaces for Black women to be heard and understood without judgment. Speaking of which, you can find the book via Amazon, or you can find the book via Dear Black Women Book or dearblackwomenbook.com. Please reach out. Or you can find it on my wife's website, jewelguy.co. So I've been doing poetry. I can say this now. I've been doing poetry about 10 years now, right?
Okay.
I'm at this point. I remember when I started, I didn't think I would be able to say 10 years, but now I can say I've been doing it for about 10 years.
Right.
I've hosted a few venues. A young lady asked me, was it like, it's a career for me? I didn't really think about it, but I guess it's like kind of like a career. I think I probably hosted about 4 venues, and I'm gonna tell you about this other one I got coming up.
Okay.
I featured in a few places. Let's see. I performed in New York. I performed in DC. I performed in Virginia. I performed at pretty much every Busboys and Poets there is, and Busboys and Poets is a DMV thing. So I've not only performed, but I've featured at every one of them, with the exception of the one that's about to be out Columbia. Yeah, and also me and my wife like to say we're revolutionaries of self-love. So I believe in just creating safe spaces for people, being a safe person for people. So it's easy to say safe space, but a lot of us aren't safe people. And I take pride and I'm honored when a person feels safe around me. So I work really hard to be a safe person.
Damn, yeah, we that's fun. That's a good point, because we always say safe space, but what about the people in that space?
Right. Because the home's supposed to be safe, right? But sometimes your spouse or your mother or your father, whoever you live with, not safe, right? So you got a safe space. But if you don't have a safe person, is it really a safe place? Because even if you have a safe place and you're not a safe person yourself, is it really a safe place?
Right. Even if you're in the space by yourself, huh?
Right. You gotta ask yourself, are you a safe person?
Right.
So I pride myself on, not pride myself, I work really hard to be a safe person. So when somebody says that, I don't take that lightly. I don't take that lightly, and I don't take that for granted, because I have not always been a safe person. For me, for myself or anybody else, I've not always been a safe person.
Right. Well, man, before we really get into it, because I know this is going to get deep, because you're a deep brother, man. I like talking to you.
Man, I'm honored by that, man.
Tell us about your platform, your open mic, man. When does it take place, and where is it?
Okay, so I see you gonna keep doing that, and I appreciate that. Right. All right. So it's at 100 East 23rd Street, the Hooper House on the corner of East 23rd and St. Paul. It's the first and third Monday of every month. It's called Imagine Mondays. Start your week right open mic. It's a safe haven or safe space for poets. As me and John said earlier, it's pretty intimate. I want to keep it that way, but I would love for new artists and artists like to come out and just feel like they can it's a way to come to practice their art, perform their art, and just feel love, man. That's all I really want. It'd be nice if you get 50 people in there, but to be honest with you, I thought I was saying I didn't want 50 people in there because I didn't think I could get 50 people. No, I don't want 50 people in there because it takes away. It's like a classroom, right? If you got 50 students, you can't touch all 50 students all the time. If you got 10 or 15, maybe 20, you can get to them and they can get the attention that they need or they want or they come looking for, right?
Right.
And that's what I want. I want my poetry space to be a safe space, literally and figuratively. So I don't want people just saying it. I want people to come there and really feel it. You know, a lot of us. Please.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm starting to notice the last, like, I swear, man, the last, I would say 2 to 3 years, I never realized how strong poetry was, or how it can move people, right? I've seen certain things over the years that have made me say, like, damn, you know, those words that I put together or that somebody else put together made this person feel a certain way. But Monday night, when I was at your thing,
come on, speak on that part. Speak on that part.
Right? You know where I'm going.
Yes, come on. I'm here for it.
Man, you had he had, look, it's the poetry and the words and the feelings and the vibe is so strong. That was a young lady on the first floor who heard one of the poets doing their poetry, and this woman came upstairs to sit and listen and explain to us that she's sort of like an introvert. She doesn't even like to be around people, be in front of people, or things of that nature. Her listening to one of the young ladies that was there last night had her come all the way upstairs, sit down with us and listen. And then she basically shared her own piece by talking to us.
That part.
Because she don't like being in front of everybody. And
she told us before she even got up, she told us she didn't like publicly speaking, and she got up and publicly spoke anyway.
Right. And you said something too that made me think about what is the number one fear for people. And I never, when you said it Monday, I'm thinking of other things, you know, AIDS or cancer or whatever. And when you was like, yeah, public speaking, I said, damn, he's right. Because everybody can't do that. You know, everybody just cannot get up and stand up in front of people. So, I mean, I'm telling you, man, when I left there Monday, on the ride home, I just was like, damn, here it is again, where poetry has showed me how strong it can be and how it's almost like your own ministry to a point. You know what I mean? Like it's is so powerful. Especially when the person has good intentions and good vibes and wants to, you know what I mean, spread love. It's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, it really is. Like I said, I feel like I'm in. Whenever I can get to an open mic, I'm there.
Man, well, you always welcome to mine, man. And everything that you said means a lot to me, yo, because when I started doing poetry, and this was probably more self-imposed than anything, I felt like it was just cliquish, right? And I felt like you had to know certain people to do certain things. And I remember the first few times I went out and I would go by myself, I was scared of shit. Like, I'm a 32-year-old man and I'm scared of shit to be in this room full of strangers, right? And after that, and going through that a few times, and I don't get scared now. I still get a little anxious, but I don't get this. But after going through that, and then being able to have my own poetry spot early on, I wanted my poetry spot for people to always come there and didn't have to feel alone. Because not only are you going somewhere by yourself, which a lot of us don't like to do, you about to talk about what's in your soul. So when you was talking about poetry as a ministry, that shit is your soul. Like I'm about to tell you what these deep thoughts I have that people try either save for their mind or they write in their journal they don't share. I'm about to share that with you. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I want somebody to be comfortable when they're doing it. And even if they're not, I want them to know like I'm behind you. Good, bad, or indifferent. Like, share what you guys say. Because I just remember how it made me feel. And I don't want people to feel like that when they come to my venue. It's just why you see me talking or over talk. Because my show, you can tell me shut up. I'm good with that because I don't want to talk the whole. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I do want to talk the whole time, but I want just to really be comfortable and be safe, right? I like to just laugh, and that's what I want to do. I decided. Allow me to say this when you ask what I'm doing. When I left my job, I had a conversation with my wife. I said, you know what I want to do for the rest of my life? I want to make people laugh. I want to make people cry. I want to help people love. I want to help people think. And also, I want to heal them. And that's what I want to do, man. So I don't know what that looks like at the moment. It looks like poetry. It might look like comedy. It looks like selling books. I don't know what it looks like, but that's what I want to do, bro.
And it's interesting because you just said something here again. You know, you don't know what it looks like, but you're already doing it.
Right.
Like you're already in the motion of doing it. What I witnessed for myself Monday was the beginning of a healing for this young lady that came upstairs and listened to us do poetry. You know what I mean? That was like, I mean, that was a big thing for her to be able to get up in front of us and say what she said, you know, and she felt so comfortable about it. That's a space that you created. That's what you know, by you saying you don't know what that looks like, that's what it looks like. That's part of it right there, which what you just did when I was there Monday. I mean, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And your wife, tell your wife, her voice is so beautiful, man.
Man, listen,
I didn't
man.
even know she could sing, Desmond.
So first of all, let me speak on my wife for a minute, right? My wife is probably, and I know a lot of us say this, but she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met, right? And I say that to say, like, when we first met, and my wife being younger than me, she was way mature beyond her years. And, you know, since we've been together, it has not been without trials or tribulations, but since we've been together, my life has been better, right? It has really been better, right? It's been better good. It's been better in a bad way. It's been better in a different way. It's just been better, right? And she put out an EP like about 5 years ago, in 2016, and she used to sing at church. And when I met her, she was singing at open mics, but it's not really her thing, right? And it took me at least 3 years to get to the point where don't bother her about singing because she's singing. I even tried to spin it to her, but she sings beautifully. But that's what she wants to. Like, and she just was in a space to sing for me, sing for us Monday. Like I ask sometimes, but I do my best not to bother her, man, because like, man, she's just beautiful. She's just beautiful.
Yeah,
I definitely would tell her that. Thank you, brother. She's just beautiful. So hopefully I can try to get her to do it the end of every night. but don't hold me.
beautiful sound, though, man. I mean, beautiful sound. So before we start to get into it, man, I know you got some fire you want to spit for us tonight.
Yeah, I got a new one, so I'm hoping I'm gonna get through this, right? Because you already got me teary-eyed right now. So hopefully I'm gonna get through this, right?
Well, whenever you're ready, man. If you want, you can start with something that's not going to have your eyes watering a little bit.
Okay, okay. Don't call me the talented Mr. Desmond Guy. Call me the poet. Call me the clarity after you get high. Call me fountain of youth because through poetry, I ain't never going to die. Call me tie-dye because I'm 1970s fly. It's all right if you call me imagination, but I would rather you call me third eye. Don't call me a heathen from Babylon. I would rather you call me a sage from Avalon. I write poetry and don't ask me why. Because we are one, poetry and I turned my pain into power. I took the bitter and made it sweet. I went from thinking that a nigga can't win to niggas can't be beat. I wanted something different, so I started to think, believe, and do different. I stopped thinking either or, so why can't I have them both? I don't want just the cut of that porterhouse steak. I want a slice of that vegan loaf. I don't want to just pour out a little liquor for my homies. I want to have a goddamn toast. I made dreams float with thoughts I wrote. I waited in the Mercury moat, the palace defenses down I broke. I braved dragon smoke. After this track, I make them evenly yoked, bathe the hood, and poetic soap cleansing their minds and throats. After your stint in rehab, I'm the epiphany for which you hope. I feel the tide that binds racism's root. Incite the colored folk with Martin and Malcolm notes, hip-hop quotes. I am a Moor with a prayer rug like cloak. I'm the evolution of a revolutionary's hope. Peace. Thank you, brother.
Man. What's the I don't even know where to start. So what do you call that? Do you have a name for that?
No, bro. Like I come up with it. You know what's funny? No. So first off, to answer your question, no. But what's funny is I name every fucking thing else. I come up with funny names for everything else. But with poetry, I just kind of do it, bro. And I think that's because when I write, they're little pieces of poems, and then like I go back and I put them together. So it could be a poem that I wrote today that might connect with something I wrote 6 or 7 years ago.
What does it do for you, Desmond, when you recite your poetry? What does it do for you, you know, mentally and physically?
Joy. I like to see how big my mouth can get without me having to feel that I'm yelling. So it brings me joy, right?
Right.
It's like a power, like not a power that I can impose on anybody, just a power to unleash. That's the best way I can say it. It brings me joy and it brings me freedom.
Definitely freedom. I can feel you on that. I feel freedom.
That's the best way I can say it, bro. It brings me joy and freedom.
Yeah, I definitely feel free when I write. It's something that writing and poetry in general is something that I go to in any emotion. You know, I could be happy, I could be feeling down, I could be straight depressed. You know, because as Black as men, I think that we should identify with our feelings more with things of that nature. Like if you're feeling depressed today, or if you're feeling a certain way, you know, that you're not used to feeling. You know what I mean? I think we should not be afraid of the unknown and things that we don't understand really, without trying to understand. You know what I mean?
Agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I didn't write my first poem until I was like 30.
30?
I didn't write my first poem until I was 30. So when I was a kid, like we grew up in an era, I wanted to be a rapper, but I didn't have no cadence. I didn't have no rhythm. I ain't gonna say I couldn't write. I was unable to write just yet. And then I had a girlfriend that I had dated for a very long time in my young adult life. And when she broke up with me, I wrote her a poem and I sent it to her. And she said it was elementary. That made me feel some kind of way. So I didn't write for like another year. Then the girlfriend that I was dating later on in life, I got a Facebook page and I started actually just writing little snippets on Facebook because you could only fit it in. When you first started, you could only fit it into like 160 characters, right?
Right.
So I had to get my meaning across in 160 characters.
Right.
So that helped, but it hurt. So initially it helped me because I could convey my thought in very few words. But it hurt because when I tried to transition it to the stage, and I had to be up there 2 and 3 minutes. Like when I first started, it was only 30 seconds. I have like 15 seconds, I'm done. And I remember doing it with the book. And my brother, shout out to my brother Ego West, he came to me and said, yo, you want to be on stage, right? He said, yeah. He said, you're going to have to do them long or you have to lose the book. And I said, what? I was like, I'm up there fucking dying for these 15 seconds. And you want me to get rid of the book? He said, yo, you got to remember it. And you're going to have to do it longer. So since then, I have never read anything on stage if it's been my work. I have never read anything on stage. If I fuck it up, I just fuck it up. I won't do it. So for a while I was against it, but as I've gotten older and more experience, I'm not mad if you read from your book or your phone. I just feel like if you're gonna do spoken word, make it a part of what you're doing, not just standing there. Because I feel like if you always read the poem from the book or the phone, you never get a chance to make it live because you will stay within the lines. When you lose the phone or you lose the paper, it's like coloring outside the lines. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Now you can navigate it whichever way you want. And then if you don't like where it sounds, well, let me change that. Because you might say cannot. You might say cannot in your poem. When you read it, look like on stage, you might have to say can't. Well, you might have to say ain't. And it just gives it a better flow. Savvy? Does this make sense?
Absolutely.
So that's just been my thing. That's been my thing, bro. And I've learned please.
I don't have anything against people who read or with their phone or paper or whatever. Because there was a time, or there may be, sometimes I may do that still. Absolutely. But I try not, like if I'm going to perform somewhere, that's just me. I want to go up there with nothing in my hands. I want to go up there, spit my shit, give my feeling and emotion, and just do it like that. I feel like it's more organic. I work hard on trying to memorize all this shit.
Man, say that again. Yeah, I don't think people realize how hard that shit is.
No, they don't. They don't. I walk around with poems in my pocket, you know what I mean, that I've written and I printed them up and just put it in my pocket, 1 or 2 a day, and just go over it all day long. Whenever I got free time, all day long, because I want to be able to, when I'm spitting my piece, I want you to feel all of that energy and emotion, not me standing there just reading it and it may sound like it's cadency. I don't want that. I want that raw that's going to grab you and choke the shit out you for a second. You know what I mean? And hold you.
Yes.
Yes. Because that's just how I like to do it. For instance, and this guy, Black Chakra.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a story about him.
Man, I love his energy. I love the way he spits his pieces, and I love his energy. And the brother is humble. To be such a great poet and have so many accolades, he's humble as shit. Like, he's really a good dude, man. Really humble guy. I like that guy.
So since we're talking about Black Chakra, let me give you a piece of Black Chakra. Black Chakra was one of the first poets I ever seen. He used to play a place here in Baltimore called Organic Soul. It used to be that Eaton's Lounge, right? He was one of the first cats I ever seen perform a poem, and he walked through the crowd, right? But it was a point, once we got to know each other better, I would give him ride homes, right? And we would sit in his car after we got home, and we would talk shit about people in the poetry scene, right? The reason why I'm telling you this story is because me and Black Chakra, it was a point where, I was the first, if I'm not mistaken, I was either the first or one of the first people to get him to feature in Baltimore at my spot. And we talk about 2014, 2015. He hadn't featured anywhere in Baltimore. And at my spot at Third Eye, he had featured it. He said that to me, and I was like, wow. And we used to have conversations. And I used to tell him, but we used to say, I was like, yo, you can be the dopest motherfucker here in Baltimore soon. And now, I tell him, I was like, yo, if they come to Baltimore and they don't know you, they ain't been to Baltimore. They don't know about your poetry. They don't know you are poetry in Baltimore. That's not a knock against you or anybody else.
It's the truth.
There are a few cuts, but for me here in Baltimore, he is the best poet that I've seen. Me personally, that's where he at for me. I'm not saying he's the best. He's the best I've seen because he used to date a woman called Fire Angelou, and she was really dope as shit too. Black Chakra is the dopest poet here right now in Baltimore, bar none. I don't give a fuck with anybody.
I definitely agree with you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry. I agree 100%, man. I mean, I still watch his YouTube shit every now and then. You know, certain ones that he did that are my favorites or whatever. You know what I mean? And then meeting him and talking to him. I met him twice at Grace's poetry dinner. And he just a laid back, humble dude, man. It's just like, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, dog, you know how fucking dope you are? Like, yo.
There was only one time, and I won't talk about that because it's to me and him. But there was one time me and him went to an event, and he was, and this is probably when our relationship got really tough, like around 16. He was mad about something, right? And I said, and the guy, Sir Alex, he didn't come through our poetry room, but Sir Alex is a comedian. Pretty dope comedian too, right? But Sir Alex said, had us on the show, and he paid us, sir. He paid us right up front. He paid us. Wow, he paid us right up front. We just had to wait to perform, right? So Chakra was kind of, I don't want to say in his feelings, but he was kind of mad about the order where he was going at, right? And I looked at him, I said, yo, didn't you get paid? He said, yeah. I said, then why you bitching? I said, how many places have you been where they pay you first?
Nowhere.
And he looked at me, he said, you right, yo, you a real nigga. I fucks with you. And we had already been talking since then, but like ever since then, like we don't talk a lot now, but I would really love to say I would be honored that I can call him a friend. And if he says something different, that's respectful. But in my head, like that's my friend, that's like my brother. Yeah. So anything that I've said, he can attest to it. Like, and you know, after that, we just really I still like to say, yo, like when you hear him talk poetry, then you talk to him, you won't even put the two people together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
You'll get the nerd, you'll get, because he'll tell you you're a nerd, you'll get the nerdy shit because you see that he read a lot of shit and he watch a lot of shit. But you wouldn't even get that fire that he does on stage, you wouldn't even put that with him. But that's how like a lot of the poets are. Like there'd be one person on stage, and there'd be somebody else, or the energy just doesn't match.
I feel like we transform. I feel like we transform as soon as we get in front of that mic. We metamorphosis into something else, man. Definitely.
So, speaking on that, right? And forgive me, I do have quite a bit of stories. I love to tell stories. I remember years ago, me and my brother was talking, and he said, "You're like one of my favorite poets because how you are on stage is how you are in real life. This is the shit you say in real life. That's how the shit you say on stage is how you are in real life. It's a lot of cats. They one way on stage and then they another way in real life." He said, "You, Desmond, are one of the few people you talk about the shit. You talk about the shit that you do." I say that to say what you said about the transforming, right? I try to maintain the same person. The person that you meet, I want it to be the person your wife meet. I want it to be the person my wife know. I want to be the person that 50 other million people meet. I try to be the same person with everybody. Because I feel like we all wear faces, which is part of society, but I don't want to be that. I want to be the same person all the fucking time. That's the goal of life.
Right. So, man, I know you got some more fire for us. The people definitely want to hear you spit some shit. So,
all right. So I'm gonna try to get through this poem, and this is inspired. Me doing this poem is inspired by when you was at the spot Monday and said you take days to remember shit, right? It only take you a couple of days. It usually takes you 2 weeks where I'm comfortable with it, but I'm gonna try to do this poem.
Okay.
I ain't trying to be better than the next he or she. I strive to be better than the last me. I strive to transcend my bestial reality. I sat with my demons many of nights. I wrestled with my angels many of fights. You know what I'm saying? I wrestled with my angels many of fights. In this transition we call life, ain't no roadmap on sight. Two things are certain: death or taxes. Mama said money don't grow on trees. And if you can't manage $50, then you can forget about the rupees. The government ain't the only thieves. You can't tell somebody what they should believe. And you can't tell somebody how long they should grieve. You damn sure can't tell the truth when they willfully choose to be deceived. I know you want to fit in with the sheep, but you're more of a shepherd. So give up thy ways of self-defeat. Be humble enough to wash another's feet. Pray with the meek and be the peace you seek. They ain't never loved you. They just love how you made them feel. They ain't never loved you. They just love that they could use you for real.
Damn.
They ain't never loved you. They just love that you were more accessible than public transportation. They love that you was instant gratification. They ain't never loved you for you. They just loved the idea of you. They ain't never loved you. They just love being on top of or inside of you. They ain't never loved you. They just showed enough care just to get you hooked. Like fish to bait, like the carrot in front of the ass, such a disastrous fate. The prey or the one who drew up the play, the slayer or the slain. A storm is coming, followed by the sunshine and the rain. That don't always dissolve the pain. That ain't always absolve wanting to blame. Often we wounded, really we stained. Like red wine on a white cloth table. Like Cain after he killed Abel. Enraged by the other party involved, justifiably so. But deep down, you mad at self, and this you know. When you know better, you do better, the saying goes. But when you are the culprit, who do you oppose? That's it. Thank you, brother.
Man, I saw you post some of that line where you say they don't love you, they love how you love them, I think it was, or
they don't love you, they don't love you, they love how you made them feel. And they don't love you, they just love how they could use you for real.
Dang.
So if you listen, I'm really talking about how you do yourself. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you do to yourself. You really love yourself. If you really love yourself, you wouldn't do some of the shit you do to yourself.
See, here
that's
we
why
go.
Then I say, but when you're the culprit, who do you oppose?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Back up.
right. See, right. I'm really talking about you.
But see, I ain't even think about that. You talking to yourself. Let's say that again now.
So at the end of the poem, I say,
who do you oppose?
Yes, but they say when you know better, you do better, as the saying goes. But when you are the culprit, who do you oppose?
Okay. Right. Okay. Damn.
I appreciate you. You were definitely my motivation. I wanted to get through that. I thank you for allowing me to get through that. I wanted to get through that. I said, you do it in a couple of days. Oh no, I gotta match that when I go on the show. So that was competition for me. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, I love it too, man. I love it too. I wrote a few pieces because of I was inspired by other poets that I met right here in Baltimore, honestly. You know what I mean? Right here. And all of the poets that I have met, I'll say, what's this? This is 2021. Yeah. Since maybe what, 2017, 2018. Okay. All of them have been humble and just wonderful people. Like, I don't know if it's because we all share a gift with words and how we could put them together, but I've always felt comfortable. I've always felt a certain vibe around poets. You know, I just it's something I feel like we gotta. I mean, I say it all the time, but I feel like we got some type of superpower or something. That
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And think about it, like we talk about public speaking, right? Yeah, right. That's the number one fear, if not the at least in America, right? We have very few people that get up and talk in front of people. Superheroes is a bunch of them, right? But not really. So poets are the same way.
Yeah, because people definitely don't like to get up in front of people. They get sweaty. They get, people can pass out. They do all types of stuff because they just can't take it. The anxiety just too much.
I love when people say they don't care what people think about them, right? And I say, yeah, get up in front of get up in front of a few people and do a poem. You see how much you worry about people, how they go, you worry about how they perceive you then. You worry about it then.
Mm-hmm. Is your poetry therapy for you?
Well, not so much now. I didn't look at it that initially, but yes, I want to say absolutely. Yeah. It was relationship therapy for me, brother, to be honest with you. It really helped me see that I wasn't the only one that I thought about the way I thought about relationships. And it helped me like weed out some of those things that I had kept inside, those destructive behaviors, or those, as the popular word now is, those toxic behaviors. But now I just like to do it because I can. I still would love to rap. I still don't have no rhythm for rapping, but it's the closest I can get to it.
Right. When you say those toxic behaviors, like when you were writing and you would recite it, or when you were writing and it was coming out, you saw different things about yourself.
So once I wrote it, and then I was posted initially, right? Because I was kind of like a Facebook post first, right? And I would see that people would agree with it, right? I wasn't so happy that they agreed with it. I was more happier that they could understand the train of thought.
Okay.
That was more important. You know, the likes are good, right? But I sat down and even had a conversation with myself about likes. I was just happy that a person could understand and follow along when I'm writing a poem, right? But sometimes, and one of the reasons I don't like reading poetry, because I get lost when I read, and I like to read. But when I'm reading some people's poetry, I can't connect. I can't connect where you was with it, but if I hear you, it's better for me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because they're cadence. Like if I'm reading your poetry, I'm automatically reading it, trying to fit it the way I would spit it. I guess like whatever cadence I would use. You know what I mean? So I understand what you coming where you come.
And speaking on cadence, that's one of the things I hate about poetry too, because a lot of people that do poetry and a lot of people that think they know poetry, they get this voice and they say they go like this.
Right.
And that's not, I don't want to say that's not poetry, but everybody don't do that. Every time I hear that, I don't give a shit how dope you are as a poet. Once I hear that cadence, I zone out. And it's maybe so I'm gonna take the fault for that, but I zone out because I just feel like we fall into that and it takes away. Now some poets that do it, be awesome, but everybody tries to do it because they think that's what poetry is. I just zone out, yo. Like I just zone out.
And a lot of people don't understand that it doesn't always have to rhyme. Like it's not, you don't always have to rhyme it. You know what I mean? It depends on where you're going with it or what you're trying to come across with. But you know, I got a sister of mine, man, in poetry named her name is Chantier. She does poetry, but she's also an awesome fucking storyteller. Like the way she tells her stories, and sometimes she'll mix poetry in with the story. Like it captivates you. You can't not zone in on her and listen and try to, you know, hang on to the next one word, to the next word, to the next word that she's saying. You know what I mean? I go on a app that's called Clubhouse a lot.
Okay.
And I go into a lot of poetry rooms at Clubhouse. I met a gentleman one day, man. They call him Uncle Lee, I think his name is. They call him. But this dude sounds like Darth Vader when he does his poetry. Like, yo, serious. And Desmond, I'm telling you, dog. When I first heard him, I was sitting there like, oh shit! Like he just another one. As soon as he starts talking, it grabs. He grabs you, and he just can't. You can't get out of it. His voice is that deep and that, you know, it just grabs you. It just grabs you, and you can't get away from it. He's the perfect narrator. Well, I say that's all different types of poetry. You know what I mean? And also,
John, you got a caller.
Oh, hello. Do we have a caller?
Yeah, say you have a caller.
Hey.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, hello. How you doing? Sorry about that. How you doing, buddy?
Not a problem. My name is James, and And I have 23 years clean, and I was listening to your conversation. And you're right, we do have choices, but relapse starts way before you even pick up the drug. And addiction is only a symptom of problems that you already have, and we're just acting out on it. But people may not understand, and I had to find out through my journey, you're saying, that the things that you talked about being young and seeing certain things, they have influence on you. And they may develop in your life that may cause you to use drugs. Because then what you're doing is trying to get away from the pain. Drug use is a thing to try to get away from pain. Yes, it says that I'm feeling good. That means, it makes me feel good. That means you've been feeling bad. Because anything that makes you feel good has to change the way that you think. So when we go out, and she made a statement that women can make you use, I don't believe that. What I truly believe, you get involved in a situation, you have those reservations, and you're going to use. Because, just like nobody can make you use, saying, nobody can stop you until you're ready. So you got to make up your mind to do that.
Absolutely.
It's devious, and it's tricky. Your drugs will tell you that you're doing good when you're not. It will tell you that you're looking good when you're not looking good. It tells you that you own the world when you don't own yourself and you don't own nothing. That's the power of drugs, and that's why you use them to change your behavior and the way that you think.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate your comment. I don't know if you were watching a different show, but we were talking about poetry on this segment. But I think I did hear you say that you have been clean for a number of years. I want to congratulate you on that.
23.
Okay. She must put me on a different show because they were talking about drug use in the family. So.
Oh, okay. You know what? That was Joy B's show. That was yesterday. You're looking at a repeat. That was but it's okay, brother.
It's all good, brother. I appreciate your call.
It's okay. I mean, it's good because I co-host a show every other Friday for Lady J also. So thank you. Keep on doing what you're doing and keep on educating. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you, man.
Bye-bye.
All right. I love it. So Desmond, man, before we start to get out of here, man, share something else for me, man. But I know you got some fire. That's all you got.
Okay, so okay. So you've heard that poem. I did that on last show. Let's see.
Whatever you feeling.
Okay. A lot of motherfuckers think being black is some stage player act like they can learn about what it is to be black through a few lines or bars of rap. And a lot of motherfuckers think being black is all about rubber band bundles, apple bottoms, and crack. But what they don't know is that being black ain't just a way of life. Being black, that is life. They don't feel the black man's plight, the self-hate we fight, the being born black, but being taught white. They don't experience the day-to-day surviving that we call living life to its fullest, and they don't hear the screaming sirens or witness the aftermath of stray bullets, pagan message from the pulpit, or the love a homeboy feels after doing a long bid. The token nigga jokes when doing business with these white folks. All they see is the product of how we hustle. So they don't really give a shit about how niggas had to struggle. But I feel niggas because I'm one of them. And I see it on every block's corner are the churches or the bodegas owned by the foreigners. Far too much black life lost, the toe tags and coroners. I see that the summer's heat turn our people into nigga beasts, making the crime rate rise like geese, and the pavement patrons crowd the streets like flocks of geese, chasing an illusion of peace. I see that Mr. Wendell setting up camp under the overpass, Sealy's on a vacant lot copulating for cash, and the Euro-Americans carefully watch Julius's ass, hoping he reveals the location of his stash. I see that the kitties are on their own because mama's always gossiping on the phone about how daddy likes to roam, and instead of spending her twilight years at some plush retirement home, granny's forced to be the family's backbone. I see that loose ones, fire, waters, and leaves are essentials to unlock the mind's potential, no matter how detrimental and accidental a lot of these babies, and that's why these parents are lazy and their nurturing skills so fucking shady. I see that the Avenue prophets are treated like lepers or pariahs because they speak of the world's demise by the fire, but they keep hoping and praying that the red scriptures inspire. I see that the medium strip mumble solicit everything from energy drinks to the kitchen sink, the fucking politics stink, pushing law-abiding citizens like you and I to the brink. I see that Roscoe feels like no one cares, so he becomes gang-related just to feel appreciated, and that another young black life is crime-affiliated. I see that the inner city living is always poverty-stricken, which causes the hopelessness to thicken, and residents fiend for boxes of chicken, iced tea, and lemonade mixtures, and cell phones that take salacious pictures. I see that Julius, Wendell, Roscoe, and Seeley are neighborhood fixtures, and seeing their blight makes me realize that God is good, and he's always with you. But this is what I see. Now tell me what you see. Thank you, brother.
Awesome, man. Man, talk to me about, I see you got the Dead Black Man shirt on tonight. Talk to me about that. What is that? What does that mean? What is that project?
All right, so thank you for asking. Let me get up.
Yes, yep.
Okay. So it's a book about creating safe spaces for Black men to be heard and understood without judgment. My wife wrote it. She wrote the book because early in our marriage, she likes to say the first year of our marriage was tough, really challenging, and we were having communication challenges. So she took the liberty to reinvent herself, and which helped me reinvent myself when we started having different conversations about marriage, about relationships. And then she took some of the questions that she was asking me and she started asking like my brothers, friends, and then other friends. And she started realizing that like men had a lot of like we had some commonalities, like not being heard and understood by our partners, right? So she took those questions. So they started with me, and then she took them to my brothers, and then she took them to other men, and then she took them to Facebook, right? She started for about, let's say 3 to 6 months, she just started posting questions and getting feedback, right? And she had a business coach down, so she went to a business coach and they talked about it, and she turned it into a book, which you see me the shirt, right? And then we started selling the book, right? And we started selling it, and we was down at Patapsco Flea Market for like 2 months, right? And people were buying the book, and then we started having sisters come over and talk about like why we didn't have a book for sisters. That's how we got Dead Black Men. But the book is really about creating a safe space for Black men, and allowing us to have somewhere to go or somebody to talk to, which is sometimes ourselves, that's safe, right? So even if you don't want to go to therapy, it's a starting point, right? Inside the book, there are 10 questions, 10 affirmations, 10 apologies. Questions like, dear Black man, how did seeing a relationship that you were younger shape how you feel now, right? Affirmations such as, dear Black man, you are more than enough. Dear Black man, I accept you as you are. Dear Black man, I believe in you. And then we have apologies, right? Because a lot of times we go through life and we go through relationships and we get hurt. We get hurt often, right? Mm-hmm. We don't always get the apologies that we feel like we should get, or we just don't get them. So my wife took the liberty of apologizing to us Black men from her perspective as a Black woman. She's not apologizing for all Black women. She's just apologizing for some of the things that she may have done or seen with Black men. Apologies like, dear Black man, I'm sorry for making you responsible for my happiness. Dear Black man, I'm sorry for making our children casualty of wars and our broken relationship. So inside the book, you got the affirmation, the question, the apology on one page. And on the next page, we got questions about like, how did that apology make you feel? How would you feel if you got an apology? What are your thoughts? And you can go throughout the book, through the whole book, do that. The beautiful thing about the book is you don't have to start at the beginning. If you want to feel like a fucking superhero that day, read all your damn affirmations. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to feel like you want to be real introspective, answer the question. If you feel like black women fuck up, because sometimes they fuck up, you get the apologies, right? But the book is really just a tool. It's a conversation starter. It's a tool to start the healing, right? Because me and my wife like to say we are revolutionaries of self-love, and she has this thing, isn't it time to heal everything? And I feel like if we start having better relationships, not only with the other people, but we start having better relationships with ourselves, all our relationships will be better. I think a lot of times we struggle in relationships. We don't really have a good relationship with ourselves.
Absolutely.
So
I agree 100%. And the healing part is major, man.
Right.
Major.
Right.
You know, I realize a lot of the emotions and anger that people have, especially, you know, for instance, say that neighbor that lives on your block, you know, that rarely says good morning or speaks to anybody. You know what I mean? You say hello, they like, you know what I mean? But deep down, what's the reason? Are they hurting from something? 9 times out of 10, which they probably are, and they don't know how to convey it. They don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? A lot of times I find in life that some of the people that have this exterior hardcore about them and just nasty disposition be some of the sweetest people in the world when you get to know them. You know what I mean?
You know, like the book says, I think, so the most important thing for us men in relationships, not all men, but I feel like a lot of men, is respect, right? And the way we get respect is when we feel like somebody listening to us and they understand our point of view. We don't always want them to agree with us, but we want to at least know that we were heard and understood, right? I feel like us as men, we don't feel like we get that, especially we don't feel like we get that from our women, right? And that's when it really hurts. Like, it hurts when we don't get it from our brothers, but it really hurts when we don't feel like we get it from the women that we love, right? And I realize myself personally, and I won't say she's the only woman because that would be a lie, but I feel like my wife is the first woman that listened to me and I was able to receive how she would listen. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say that the other women that I didn't have the privilege to be with didn't love me, but she was the first woman that loved me and I could receive her love. I could receive the way she was giving it. And we had some rough edges and we talked about some things, but that's the first woman I can really say that I really love with all my heart. Like, I tried real hard. Like, and in saying that, just being a man, it's priceless to have somebody that listens to you, man.
Absolutely.
Not just hear you, they listen. Right. And even if they don't agree with you, they at least can see where you was coming from with it, right? Like, we've had numerous conversations about like monogamy and just about life in general. And regardless if we feel different about it, she listens to what I'm saying and she tries to put herself in my shoes. And that shit is priceless.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That shit is priceless, man.
Beautiful. Hey, do you have any pieces that were inspired by your wife that you have written?
Shit, I think everything I write at this point is probably inspired by her in some way or another.
Right.
Let me see if I can do this. Roses are red and violets are blue. I have searched 1,000 worlds and I have finally found you. Roses are red and violets are blue. I never thought to me that this is what love would do. Roses are red and violets are blue. You encompass every season of love, a lot like a haiku. Roses are red and violets are blue. The chakras touch. Now tantra ensues. Roses are red and violets are blue. I would spend another 10,000 lifetimes waiting for you. If you were worried about when having a who I saw, oh, what club I went to with my homies, Baby, don't worry, you know that you got me. In a galaxy of stars, you are my sun. Neo in the Matrix, you are the one. Crown me Lazarus, because you have resurrected the dead. With your love for me, I'm no longer scared. You are life after dormant love. You are my grace. You are my dove. Helen of Troy face that can sink 1,000 ships makes me really wonder, are you in it for the long haul or the shortened season championship? Poor man's treasure, a rich man's measure, an adventurer's greatest endeavor, a king's crown jewel admired by all the land, even the judges and the fools. Song that soothes the savage beast. You are Middle Earth. I love Shire feast. You are Mecca, so like Malcolm, I journeyed east, a hippie's credo. I call you peace. If you were worried about where I've been a who I saw, what club I went to, my home in. Baby, don't worry, you know that you got me. So, as me and my wife started getting together, I realized, and I would say it's not funny now, but I would tell her that we motherfucking go together.
Right.
We motherfucking go together like birds of a feather that flock together. It's like Bonnie and Clyde, Batman and Robin, Mitch Mac socks, tombstones and graves, stocking caps and waves, peanut butter and jelly, Netflix and chill, Frankie W. Mays. We motherfucking go together. We motherfucking go together like Kanye and Cray, Rockefeller and Jay and Beyonce, Meth and Mary. We motherfucking go together like Drake and everybody else's bae. We motherfucking go together. We motherfucking go together like two peas in a pod, the couple's odd, the Mars squad -1. I am the earth. You are my sun. We motherfucking go together. We motherfucking go together like Saturday and Sunday, the 1st and the 15th, aka Fun Day. We motherfucking go together. We motherfucking go together like George and Weezy, Martin and Gina, Will and Jada. One is good, but two is greater. We motherfucking go together.
That shit is dope as shit.
Thank you, brother.
I love it, yo.
It's much better when she sings and she up there because I act the fool then. But
Yeah.
so the next time you come, and if she privileges me to be a part of it, you'll see it's funnier when me and her do it together.
Oh, y'all share that together?
Yeah, like she'll sing. She'll sing, and she'll be a part of it. I'll send you a video. I'll send you a video. Because if you never got a chance, but if you get a chance,
she sing that part that you say. Did she sing that part when you say, "Don't worry about where I've been or who I've been"?
That's that root. So you remember the root song?
Yeah. That's my shit.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. She sings that part, and then like when I say Meth and Mary, she'll come in and sing "All You Need."
Yeah, y'all got to do that.
Yo, listen, I appreciate you, but like when she up there, she definitely makes my shit way better. It's like you part. She don't make it, but she make it way better. You understand what I'm saying? So whenever she privileges me to it, man, I have a great time, man. I thank you for asking, man. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the first. As a matter of fact, that's probably the first love poem I ever wrote.
That shit is dope, man.
That's
dope. I like how y'all and see. I can just imagine that when y'all doing it together, because I heard her sing the other night. Bro. So having that accompanied you while you doing your poetry, I know that shit is dope. I gotta hear it.
Let me tell you something. Like most of the time when I go feature somewhere, right, I always try to get her to be a part of it, right? And whenever she part of it, she always steal a show, yo. Like it was my feature, but everybody be over there after the show talking to her. Like, what the fuck? I love it, man. I love it. But I'm telling you, like every time, like she always steal a show. She just sing, man. She just do it, man. Like, like I said, if anybody online, YouTube, this YouTube the talent and Mr. Desmond Guy, and every feature I got on there, I think she's in it, right? So I don't like to say I feature. I like to say we feature. We even got a poem that we do together. I might have to ask her if she remember her part. But if we get it, we'll do that again. I appreciate you having me on, man. This is a blast.
Yeah, man. I gotta have you back. I gotta have you back on. Actually, whenever I have you back on, man, we gotta have you and your wife do at least one poem together.
I'll ask her, man. She hear all the shit I'm talking right now because my mouth big, but she hear it. I'll ask her, man. I'll definitely ask her. She hear me right now.
So, man, when is the next open mic? Desmond, talk to us about when the next open mic is.
Okay, so my next open mic, Imagine Mondays, is on the 18th. Like I said, it's the first and third Monday of every month. It's at 100 East 23rd Street. That's right on the corner of 23rd and St. Paul. And if you know Baltimore, that's in the art district. My poetry venue is one of those venues. All you coming to get is intimacy and poetry, and you get tea. You can tell them about the hibiscus tea, right?
Yeah, you come get that hibiscus tea, baby.
Yeah, you got to drink my tea when you come, right? So I thank you for honoring me that. Like, if you come in for poetry, if you want other things outside poetry, my spot might not be the spot for you, right? But if you come for poetry and you come for fellowship and you come because you want to feel safe, then you absolutely gonna get that at my spot. If you come for that other shit, it might not happen. And I'm not saying that other shit ain't dope, because we like that, but that's just not at my spot. That's what I got. I wanted to tell you.
Go ahead,
bro, please.
Anybody watching? I said anybody watching right now, you definitely want to come to his open mics. It's beautiful, man. It's really beautiful.
Listen, man. I appreciate you saying that, man. I wanted to tell you, I haven't put it all together yet, but it's gonna be like the third Thursday every month. I'm about to start having an open mic at this wine cafe, and it's down in Locust Point. As soon as I get the flyer and the details, I'll put it up. I want you to come through. That's gonna be like once a month, and that's gonna be pretty dope too, yo. Like that's gonna be pretty dope. Now you're gonna get to enjoy wine and food. You're gonna have wine, food, and fuckery. So we're gonna have a good time then, right? But thank you for having me on here, brother. Thank you for allowing me to advertise, man. When we talked about it, whenever you're ready to come through and do what you do, if you want to have this here, I just gotta talk to my partner. Yo, you can come through. You can also do whatever you want, bro. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Anybody that's watching, please take the time to check out Dear Black Men, Dear Black Women. You can find us via dearblackmen.com, dearblackwoman.com. I got cards. Of course, I can't pass out cards. We gotta. I said that already. DearBlackWomanBook.com, DearBlackMenBook.com.
That's right. She doing it right. She got your back.
Yeah, right. Don't come in with that.
I love it, yeah.
So let me say it again. DearBlackWomanBook.com, DearBlackMenBook.com. If you can't remember those two, you can find us on Amazon. We have Instagram called Dear Black Men, established in 2018. You can reach out to me, Desmond Guy, via Facebook or Such Is Life on Instagram. So it's such_IZ_LYFE_. Like you said, I'm a trained mediator, I'm an author, I'm a poet. I like to say an aspiring comedian. I'm working on that.
Are you dabbling into you a life coach too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm certified. I only say the certified part because people would kind of look at you. No, I'm certified. I got my papers.
Right.
I'm somewhere like a therapist, but I ain't certified now. I'm somewhere like that.
Okay. Okay.
Overall, like we said, I'm really working hard just to really be a safe person.
You do a good job at it, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your platform. I appreciate what you and your wife do together. The projects that y'all do, man. Y'all are really an inspiration. I like to surround myself with people who inspire me, and y'all are definitely a couple who inspire me, man. Most definitely. So
I'm gonna ask you while I'm on here. You ever featured anywhere, John?
Have I ever featured anywhere?
Yeah.
Nowhere other than my own platforms, really.
Good. You can't be my first one because I promised that to a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But you will definitely be the first after him.
Absolutely, bro. Anything you need, I'm there, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate you too, bro. I love you, man. Appreciate you for coming on. Everybody follow Desmond on anything you can find. Facebook, Instagram. You on Twitter too?
I don't do Twitter really, bro. I guess I'm at that age. I don't know. I feel like, no. I don't know. I don't do it. I don't do it right now.
My kids trying to get me on TikTok. I'm like, y'all, I can't. I can't. God,
you know what? So you saying that, right? I'm gonna try just because I gotta transcend my age, right? I'm gonna try.
But, you know, I'm gonna have to too. I mean, they already got a few videos up I ain't even know about. You know what I mean?
How old are your kids, bro?
Huh?
How old are your kids?
I got 2 girls, 12 and 10.
So I'm working on having a girl. How is it raising girls, man? Give me something.
Oh man, it's beautiful, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think having a child makes any dad look at himself in a different light. And period, anyway, you know, you examine yourself and like, all right, I gotta get my shit together, whatever. But with daughters, like it's something to have a wife, and when I leave out to go to the store, my wife doesn't have to call me to see where I'm at. My children are called. My daughters will call me. You know what I mean? So that's what, like, having a daughter. For me, I have 2 daughters, and I joke with my wife all the time. I say, when I leave out the door, they ask me where I'm going, just like you do. And I see your face 2 times when they ask me, Daddy, where you going? All I see is my wife. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? But it's a beautiful thing, man. But at times, you know, I got 3 mothers in my house. You know what I mean? You tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. You know, but it's beautiful. I love the fact that they engage and really like watch what me and mommy do. You know what I mean? It means something to me for them to see how I treat their mother, because I want them to be treated a certain way.
That part. Say that part again, man.
You know what I mean?
Like, I don't think we really realize how important that is, man. Like, I tell people, I say, you know, when you become a parent, you become a god, right? I said, you do know that, right? I said, because what you say is going to be their thoughts, and what you do is going to be their mouth.
That's right.
Like, I don't think we really get that, man. And,
they don't.
And I'm not,
a lot of people
I don't
don't
say have you burden to carry. Because on the flip side, kids don't realize that we human. They don't realize that shit. They don't realize that you used to be a young man. They don't realize that you used to be a kid. You don't got it all figured out, and we do ourselves a disservice when we try to act like we got it all figured out, and we try to act like fucking superheroes. I tell my son, I was like, I'm not no damn superhero. I piss and shit and sin, and I fuck up just like you do.
You're right. I tell my daughters the same thing, especially when they bring that crazy ass math to me. I don't understand what the hell it is. I'm like, we didn't do this type of math when I was in school. I don't know what this shit is.
Wow.
Bro,
yes, man, but the next show is going to be, please.
Go ahead.
The next show will be on the 18th. Imagine Mondays, start your week right, open mic. 100 East 23rd Street. Doors open at 6:30, signing at 6:45, shows from 7 to 9. I definitely want to start the show at 7 o'clock. So if your ass ain't there at 7 o'clock, you can come in. But what you miss, you miss. And I'm not running over.
And y'all don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, won't be disappointed. Definitely want to come and check it out. Bro, I appreciate you, man. Once again, love you, bro. I'll see you on the 18th, because I'll definitely be in the house.
I'll be looking for you, black man.
Absolutely. Tell your wife, man. My wife said hello, man. I'll see you soon, bro. All right. Be safe.
Peace.
All right.